Hello YouTube, my name's Tag and welcome back to Danganronpa Lapse. So in the last video, I don't even know how to explain what happened in the last video because I myself am so confused. So basically, we split up and we went to go investigate some places because new places got opened up to us, right? And we found out a lot of information. We found out a lot, basically I don't want to spoil too much, but a certain character has. We found out that each character is associated with another character on the roster. So it's like pairs, right? And we found out that there are certain characters that we haven't seen yet, or we've kind of seen them before, that aren't part of the game, but they are part of our class list that we haven't met yet. And basically, we found out more information, and then some weird thing happened. Basically, we're doing time travel apparently, doing some time traveling. We love messing up the time stuff, right? And so because we did time traveling, that got me to do another other exploration of subject. Actually, I got to learn other stuff, knowing the prior stuff I learned before. And because I did it in a certain way, I had information that I already learned previously that was able to help the other option. And discovered stuff. And right now, a body has been discovered. And so it's time for another trial. Which I don't know why, but I feel like it's gonna be kind of obvious what happened. Unless, of course, something bad happens. I don't know. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump back into this game. Okay, so a body's been discovered. I don't know who it is. I predict it might be Mercy. I also feel that it might happen what happened in the last video where everyone's gonna get killed except the murderer, and then we're gonna go back in time again, and then what? I don't know. But anyway, let's continue. Now I darted out to the testing chambers, making haste for the elevator. Come on! What is it? The elevator isn't working. We can't wait around for the elevator. Let's just head up the stairs, hurry. She better not be conniving with Zero after all. Lau growled himself, but I didn't reply. It was impossible for me to say whether or not Kaya was truly on our side or not, but after freeing her from the captivity, I had a feeling she wasn't hostile. I sighed. Regardless, there are more immediately pressing matters to attend to. Making an about face, we rushed through the hall and back up the stairs. All this to get to the courtroom. Returning to the foyer, we were met with a troubling sight. Mercy, no! But that wasn't the oh my god, we're gonna do time traveling because that's not the body that was said to be found. Mercy! As we closed in on her, the first thing I noticed was a large slash that was cut into her chest. Her drooping body was held upright against the elevator door, jammed between the elevator cab and the foyer, preventing the doors from shutting. Shoot! We rushed to her side, all while maintaining a cautious distance from her unmoving body. I reached for a glass and noticed her bracelet. Now, before we jump to any conclusions, I was concerned, of course, but I drew Lau's attention to her wrist. She alive or dead? The small bracelet was still rose gold. Phew! She's not the victim, but what happened to her? And why did the body is covered in nothing go off? It's Forte! No, Forte! Forte is dead. She's alive, right? Get her up and let's find out. Lau kneeled down, trying to wake her up from whatever daze she was in as I returned her glasses. Her eyes fluttered and she groaned, reaching towards the deep cut in her chest. Mercy! Oh, Echo and Lyle! Come with me! Her eyes snapped open and she leaped into the elevator, clicking the button for the trial ground. We gave chase and rumbled to the crystal floor. Upon arrival, we were met with another gruesome encounter. Forte, no! Yeah, he's definitely dead. Thank you for showing his hand to show that he's like, yeah, he's dead. Forte, no! Okay, well, we know we did it. Like, what you want us to say? We know who done it. Forte's body was covered in blood, and so stained with the liquid as well. He was sitting on the door in an emotionless state, staring at him. Oh, great, the pictures are here. Wait, what? How? Explain to me. Okay, explain to me how they got his picture already there. He just died. He just died. There's no way they got the picture there immediately. It's not like someone just came in and hanged the picture while this happened. He said nothing as the three of us surrounded Forte's body. His bracelet was tinged with the sickening bright pink color that indicated his death status, as if the pools of blood didn't indicate it clearly enough. What the heck happened when we split up? Astonishment painted Mercy's face as she took in the scenery. We roped around to glare at the most damning person, the one drenched in blood. What? She said detached expression told us nothing, or perhaps everything. I'm sorry, I have no idea what happened. You better not be lying. I'm not. Ugh. Lucy flinched and thinly turned to cover her wound. Investigate as you wish. I won't stop you. I had to clean this up. Lucy trotted to the elevator and into the infirmary on the other side, leaving us with the victim and Say. So, care to share anything, Say? Didn't think so. This is a mess. No kidding. Is it really up to us to investigate? We're just about the furthest away from the crime. How can we begin to infer what occurred 4 floors above? It's only up to us. Me and my boy Lyle, let's do this. Does it look like either Say or Missy are going to face up? It's covered in blood. Yeah, you're right. At the very least, we were together with Gaia, so that solidifies our alibi somewhat. Having said that, Karen was still nowhere to be found. Could it be? Then let's get to it. Let's do this, boy. Me and my boy. Okay, well, let's start with the most obvious thing. Let's look at Forte. The fact that the picture's already there, it's just like why? Dum 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 dum. Let's start with the obvious thing. What the? Okay, we'll start with the wound first. Straight to the liver. It looks like he was stabbed multiple times before the culprit plunged the dagger firmly in one spot. Surrounded the dagger stuck in his body. Forte had several tears in his shirt, exposing the lacerations on his abdomen underneath. The lacerations were noticeably clustered around the abdominal area. Thank you for the information. Behind Forte's head was a sizable pool of blood. It's possible he fell backward and the back of his head split from impact. The thought was upsetting. Anything else? Oh, the dagger itself. Forte's body was lying face up, with a familiar dagger stuck in his abdomen. That's Darling's dagger. If the scenario was anything like the scenario when I went with Mercy to investigate, I can only assume the dagger came from her possession. But why did Mercy herself suffer a huge slash? Can you maybe consider the fact that it's the one and only person it could be? You! Talk! Say what motionless and expressionless. She didn't dare look at anything except the body that lay before her. I didn't know where to begin with questioning her. I didn't want to suspect her, but it was difficult to think otherwise. Because in the previous timeline, she killed everyone, including me. So, I don't know. So tell me, how can it not be her? She didn't appear to make any attempt in hiding her involvement either. I stammered for a minute before giving up entirely. So what's the big idea, Say? Saying nothing just makes you more suspicious, you know. Well, it certainly doesn't make her any less suspicious either. Sure, but blood makes a compelling case in favor of suspicion of murder. Thanks for nothing. It's really tough to discuss. Who am I going to talk to? Wow, who am I going to talk to? Me and him. Any thoughts? Just the one that says the culprit. Seems plainly clear enough, but does that seem like something she would do? Well, who knows? It's likely that while the other group was investigating, something occurred that provoked her. Oh, I figured you might know a little more about her since you two have been talking lately. It's nothing like that. She didn't talk much. I really just think out loud to her. As for how she might behave, I can't put a pin on her. Including the obvious potential culprit, I'm up a creek. It was only understandable that both of us were stumped. We'll see what changes when Cannon shows up. Dead or alive, that is. Thanks. I'll continue. I'll go to the infirmary now and check on Mercy. The scene was gruesome. Despite that, there didn't seem to be much of note. Did you find anything? To say I even have even half an idea of what happened would be a stretch. There's very little to draw conclusion from, well, except for Lyle and Say. Lyle and I looked at Say, for Say's body, Say's bloody state, and essentially locked the room. It couldn't be more straightforward. I can't believe this. Is there even a victim report? Maybe if we return to the foyer, we'll find one printed from the kiosk. I'd like to see the victim report as well. I'm just pleased to say that I'm unaware of what happened here. Mercy returned to the trial grounds from the infirmary, a coarse dressing covering her inflicted wound. As Mercy scanned the bloody scene once more, her downcast gaze paused to meet Say's. Was this the right way? It had to be the right way. This was bound to happen this way because I think this only happened because I had to go with Lau. So yeah, it was bound to happen this way. Say, why don't we get you cleaned up? You're being awfully casual with the culprit. Mercy didn't respond. She offered a hand to Say, who stealthily reached up to receive it. The two of them left the crime scene without a word. Were we supposed to stop them? Well, it's not like they get very far. Ugh, I don't even know where to start and how strange this all is. Let's just get down to the foyer and find the victim report. There's no use standing around a dead body. Zero probably has to clean this place up for the trial anyway. I nodded. I started towards the elevator as I glanced at Forte's body one last time. I'm gonna miss you, Forte. We took the elevator back down to the foyer once more. Arriving at the foyer, Lau went straight to the main kiosk. I stepped out to follow, but I stopped at a familiar sight. A familiar photograph of Darling was on the floor. It had a small puncture at the top of it. Huh? I've seen this before. The same photograph Mercy received for a special gift, but this time, I wasn't with her when she received it. However, I noticed that the wall near the elevator had so many small punctures that matched the photograph. Could it be the two punctures in the wall and the photograph could be indicative of when Mercy pinned the photo on the wall with Darling's dagger like last time? But if the photo is on the floor, a puncture is in the wall, and the dagger is in a different place, someone must have taken the dagger out of the wall. What did it mean? If it meant anything at all. Hey Echo, the victim report is over here. Ah, sorry. Come in. I hustled over to Lal as he waved the postcard/black sheet. Okay. Let's see. The victim's body was covered on the trial grounds. The estimated time of death was 13:45. What? Is that it? Not even how he died? Yeah, not even how he went down. That's crazy. You're telling me this is completely useless? Doesn't even say cause of death. Yeah, it's all dodgy. I wonder if Gaia had something to do with manipulating the report. Do you think she had something to do with it? Well, I'm not ruling out the possibility. Well, Gaia literally lost her overseer visibility. It might be possible she had the capability of manipulating the report from the workstation. I grumbled at the thought of another suspicious act. Oh, that reminds me. Catherine is still absent. I hope she's okay. She must be. If she were dead, another victim report would have turned up. That's not very comforting. After a brief discussion about the victim report, Mercy and Sayed emerged from the living quarters, meeting us in the foyer. Sayed's expression remained as somber as before. Mercy's eyes were shifting with unease. The two of them might have cleaned up the mess of the scene before, but whatever was going through their minds had continued to darken their faces. The trial must start any minute now. Let's use our time wisely to get information from these two. Thank you. Let's start with Mercy. I trust Mercy. Mercy, are you alright? I'll survive. Fortunately, the cut wasn't too deep. That's a relief. What happened? To be honest, I haven't the foggiest. I can only even recall how I ended up where I did. Start from the top. What did your group do when we split up? We visited the side room as a group to gather information. I used the dagger pommel to knock the doorknob off and unlatch the lock. Inside we found files about the preservation project, a gross dossier detailing our background, and some floor plans for the area we visited. After exhausting the files information, we visited the trial grounds, thinking we could confront the one administering the stain. However, Zero was nowhere to be found. We had hit a dead end, figures. Whoa. busy story, lined up with striking similarity to what she did when I explored the main floor with her in Forte. If this was true, it's likely I knew exactly what information was detailed thanks to the strange occurrence I had experienced. While we were idling in the trial ground, the motives directed at Forte and Say came to play. Forte had a bit of a sorrowful look about him when he heard the song. And Say, she got nothing. We had hit the dead end. We searched the most damning places we could in our area, and still yet nothing cropped up. That said, I decided to employ what I learned about Say from the files. She has some connection to Zero. Say knows Zero? Oh yeah! The only ones who knew about Say and Zero were the ones who stayed in the foyer and visited Cyrus' confidential information. Yes, I pleaded for her to share what she knew, that she should admit it for the sake of escaping our enclosure. But, rather than assisting her peer, she snuck the dagger from my possession and lashed out at me. Say, attacked you? I'm afraid so. I must have said something wrong to provoke her. At that point, all I can recall is toppling back from the sudden offense as Forte put himself between me and Say. She made a threat to harm herself, directing the dagger at herself, after which Forte made a move to take the dagger. But seeing as she's unarmed, it was a false alarm. I probably hit my head or something, because I must have blacked out until you two came. Mr. Deldorf. It was discomforting seeing her so unsure. As far as your admission goes, Say was the last one wielding the dagger, the very same one that is planted in Forte's body right now. That is correct. There doesn't seem to be any other conclusion here, is there? This is essentially a locked room murder with only one possible culprit. It would be difficult to contest otherwise. I just wouldn't be able to sit with myself if I really did cause her to spiral this far. Her voice cracked with remorse. I wanted to reassure her that it wasn't her fault, but yeah, it kind of is her fault this time. I didn't want to lie and let anyone down. The situation was getting more and more bleak by the minute. By the way, where is Cannon? Wish we could tell you. Looks like you didn't see her crawling around up here either. She disappeared while we were investigating beyond the foyer doors. Can't say where she ran off to, though. I see. Her absence during all this is quite disconcerting. Not to mention, I don't seem to have the revolver in my possession anymore. Ruh-roh. Missy reached to her inner coat pocket and came up short. You have got to be kidding. So the revolver was missing. That, along with Cannon's absence, was cause for concern. What did you two learn in the sequestered floor beneath us? No, the room below are a trophy room and a testing chambers. We didn't explore the trophy room, but from the outside look of it, it's just a display area for hunting game. However, we found the physical bodies of Zero and Eve, or Akihiko Quartz and Gaia Espera in the testing chambers. Oh, so you've learned their identities as well? Yeah, you don't seem surprised. Those using profiles were also in the class dossier. Why they were included when they aren't participants is beyond me. You'd think that kind of information would be better hidden. Other than that, we didn't find much else of note. I see. And none of you were near the crime scene at all. No, when the blackout occurred, we were immobilized, stuck in the testing chambers until the lights returned. There's a blackout? I had no idea. It must have hit when I was in my daze. I can't help but think I caused a snowball effect with Say, resulting in Forte's death. Missy grumbled under her breath. She was literally trying to warp her head around what we learned. After learning about the details of Missy's side events, things were getting more and more tangled up. Okay, time to talk to the main one. You can trust Say, you can trust me. I won't do anything. Say, are you okay? Did you get hurt or anything? No, I'm fine. You're fine? Say nodded. That's good to hear. Why do you care? Well, you're safe. That's always good news. Not for long though. So she came out of that mess completely unscathed. Unlike Mercy, who received a nasty scar, and unlike Cannon, who was completely missing. What was going on? Do you have anything to say about being at the crime scene? No, it should be crystal clear what happened there. You say that, but... Say closed her eyes and turned away, ending the conversation promptly. I couldn't bring myself to believe it. But what? There's nothing more to be said about this, is there? She's asking for this. There shouldn't even be a trial for something as clear as this. I just don't want to jump to any hasty conclusions, okay? We might suffer the consequence of a poor decision if we go to the most obvious. We had to be careful. That was our only chance to clear the confusion, even if it did look clear as day. Echo, a word? After talking to Mercy and say aloud, I shuffled off to the sidewalk. I wonder, what could have put everyone in such precarious situations? Never mind that. We have a very clear culprit here, don't you agree? If we point out who it is right away, the answers will come spilling out. I don't know if it's as simple as you think it is. Don't get all contemplative on me. Look, it's dangerous to make assumptions. I don't want to suffer needless consequences if we can help it. I get that, but don't discount a healthy suspicion. There's no use in blindly following someone's word and word alone, especially when one's adrenaline starts messing with their perception of the situation. That can get muddled up. Agreed. We've experienced it personally. Val and I were on the same page, although our approaches were different. The only thing we had going forward was our intuition. We have to put our heads together. We won't get anywhere if we don't work together. I hope I can count on you for help. Likewise, but I can't promise anything. Where on earth is Cannon though? Last I recall, she has been acting a little worrisome since last night, and I don't think it helped her frustrations that you tried to take her camera. Lau shot me a dark look for a second before casting his face under heavy eyelids. She's not the most trustworthy, okay? Running around doing who knows what. Though I shouldn't stir the pot, I suppose. I sighed. I couldn't disagree with Lau's stance, but Cannon did make an attempt to cheer me up somewhat. I couldn't flat out accuse Lyle. I couldn't help but think her behavior was the result of me rejecting her photograph. It's that time, folks. Class trial time. That will take you all to the courtroom once everyone has entered. Not that there is much of you left. It's kinda gonna be a. Four of us softened the elevator once more, the door sliding to a close as we anxiously stood by for whatever discoveries we would make in the courtroom. Okay, so no cannon. We stood in the elevator cab, unmoving. Jeez, what's going on this time? The door slid open once more. Oh, it's her. She's here, she's alive. Cannon crept into the elevator. The doors finally closed and the elevator began to move. She was alive, thankfully. Cannon! Where the hell have you been? We didn't hear a single breath from her. The silence was deafening. She faced away from the rest of us, completely unreadable. Cannon was alive after all, but her behavior after last night, and her absence during the whole mess, it was worrisome. Cannon, I whispered, but she didn't act at all. Cannon made a haunting re-entry. Given what we knew about the revolver converse and Cannon's appearance from the testing chambers moments before the body announcement, was I too late? Was this my fault? Whatever. I don't know what to say, but it's time for the trial. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. There's no way they can make a 180 and be like, oh no, Say isn't the one. She didn't turn. Cannon, I was cold to you last night. You don't have to apologize. I ought to be the one who's sorry. Cannon's voice was hushed. Huh? I'm sorry. But you don't have anything to be sorry for. I'm the one who tore your well-intentioned photo in half. Cannon? What did she mean? I ought to be the one who's sorry. There's no way she did it. The atmosphere was disquieting. No one said a word. We stoically reserved all our inquiries for the upcoming trial. She couldn't have. There's no way she did it because she couldn't have. She was with us down when the body got cold. Endless and unfamiliar. That's just chapter after chapter. Dang. Okay. Chapter 4. Surely it's gonna end soon, right? There's no way they're gonna over day 7 with like 2 people left. Another visit to the trial grounds. Every trace of the crime scene had been removed, as if nothing had happened. However, I still saw the faint phantom image of blood painting the floor burn the back of my eyes. The 5 of us stepped in warily, footsteps echoing in the chamber as we habitually navigated to our respective stands in silence. Another trial. Oh, thanks, you really love discoloring the people. When we split up, our groups had discovered a slew of information that attempted to explain our captivity. I don't like how they color out these people. Why do they have to include them? They make me sad. I like these characters. But in spite of making these discoveries, where we thought could help us prevent further danger, another one of our group has fallen. No, she had a body this time. It is unfortunate that I must greet you like this, but welcome back to the trial grounds. A fuzzy hologram of Guy appeared before us. Oh, you're here too! Sure, whatever. Showing your face isn't really going to change anything, you know. Gaia, do you know anything about what happened to Vote? I can't say that I do, but please, consider my presence an asset to your discussion. Should you need any inquiries answered, I will do my best. Jeez, this one has been nothing but useless. If anything, I would posit that Zero will, at very least, respect my testimony. What makes you think you can pull the wool over our eyes? What if you two are colluding? Ah, you give her too much credit. At this point, she's nothing but an obstacle. Eve, or rather, as you know her now, Gaia knows Solch. I'm the only one who knows for certain whether you all will be voting correctly or incorrectly. After all, what kind of judge would I be if I didn't know? Freeing Gaia meant stripping her of her prize. Huh? But we're not here to talk about that. So, let's get the show on the road. Time. All rise for the last trial. Showtime. Let's go over the rules, shall we? You're on track to figure out who the culprit is of today's heinous crime. The rules are as follows. Discuss, discover, and determine who the culprit is among your group. Majority vote will seal the individual's fate and we'll just see what happens from there, yeah? One of the few outcomes will occur. Determine and vote incorrectly, and the entire class is executed, with the culprit alone able to walk free and win the ultimate prize. That's the ideal endgame for the culprit. Determine and vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of your group decision. You just might live to see another day. Our victim today is Forte Solo, the ultimate opera singer. It's a real shame we never got to hear that bass baritone voice of his. C'est la vie. So you know what to do. I'm sure you'll get this one done real quick. Zero chuckled to himself after his brisk opening statement. We all stared at each other from the circumference of the stand, eyes locking onto the most suspicious. Was it really you? Don't waste your breath on this. There's an obvious answer. Is that so? Let us be the judge of that. This case is going to be difficult, but we need to try. Though I desperately wish this wouldn't happen again, a culprit must be found. First things first, we can't ignore the fact that Say was right in the middle of this crime scene drenched in blood, presumably from the victim himself. It is ineffable the sheer amount of evidence proving that you are at fault for this. Make your own judgment. Fine. There's no way around the fact that no one else could have killed Forte, but I suppose I'll entertain you. Let's clear up everyone's alibi. When the two was split up, the two groups were as follows. Missy Forte and Say went to investigate the floors we've seen. Ken and Echo and I went to investigate beyond the foyer doors. Here is when Gaia's statement would prove useful. Yeah, me, Lal, and Cannon were together with her for majority of the afternoon down in the testing chambers. That is correct. I have not left the testing chamber since my release. If we're reporting Lal and Echo's statement, I don't see anyone leave the testing chambers. Nevertheless, I unfortunately took no notice of when Cannon supposedly left. Yeah, Cannon, you managed to slip out unnoticed while Lal and I spoke to Gaia. Where did you go? I had to step out. Step out? And where to? Back to the main wing so you could sneak around and plot something on your own? Cannon in the main wing? If she were involved in Forte's murder, she never made herself known during our journey. The three of us didn't see a trace of her as we explored the room, and only the three of us went up in the elevator before Forte's demise. So only the three of you went up. Mercy, is there anything else you can tell us about your group's exploration? Forte is no longer with us and says obvious culprit number one. And they might be unreliable. Doesn't the blood speak for itself? Sigh, one moment. I'd hate to commit to a conclusion so hastily, so I'd like to know what occurred leading to the events that caused my side of investigation to unravel so grievously. The three of us moved as one unit in the main wing for the entirety of our investigation. Like I said, we all entered the trial grounds together. And, well, I cannot speak more plainly about what occurred after, though I wish more than anything it were untrue. But that wish is nothing but dust. The slash that has been carved in proves this. Oh, thanks for showing that. Say, say, turn the dagger on me. Clear as day. Say Kono is the culprit behind Forte Solo's murder. Hold it. If you asked me to act right now, I wouldn't lay a vote against her. I was the only one present when she made her assault. I should know that what her motive to cause harm was. And I say it was not the murder's intent. Say still harmed you though, that action alone could be indicative of more. Case in point, the very poignant murder of Forte. You protecting her? What do you even have to gain from doing some things like that? Hang on, if Mercy has an explanation, we should hear her out. I'm so apprehensive about voting too quickly, especially when we haven't yet established any rhyme or reason. Indeed, my testimony is not driven by a want to gain anything except the truth. Would I not be endangering myself if I voted against say? Ugh, I see where this is going. Knowing tiresome you all are, you want to dig for a reason behind these sort of things despite seeing that the conclusion could not be more telling. Fine, let's talk motivation. Just cut to the chase, will you? It would be helpful, after all, to express different motivation in different target ways over the course of the afternoon. Motivations. I could, of course, say to turn the dagger against Mercy, and possibly against Forte as well. And did hearing the other motivations cause someone else to behave differently? Hopefully in turn, we might also get an answer to the last question of what Mercy might have to gain if she potentially were protecting Save. Discussion time. Let's see what everyone has to say about their specific motives. My motive? It was a photograph. Of what? You didn't say what, you never told us. We know that much. Care to expound on what the photograph is? No, I didn't look at it. Do you want us to suspect you? For all we know, you could have been planning something from the moment you received the photograph. Now, hang on. If Mary said she didn't see Cannon around, it's not fair to call Cannon the culprit right away. I still think there's something strange about her for not being around when the light went out. Though she claimed that she didn't look at the motive photograph, Cannon's absence during the majority of the afternoon was concerning. Let's see what everyone else has to say about the motives. We're gonna have to go through everyone's motives. My motive alongside with Cannon's was delivered shortly after our two groups parted ways. A photograph, the bloodied portrait of a friend whom the dagger belonged to. Okay, we know that. Let's see what threw the sheath dagger and she clung to after the second trial. I admit, I was overcome with the zealousness to confront the one who we call Puppet Master, putting the mocking photo on the wall outside the elevator with the dagger. How the dagger ended up on the tower grounds as the murder weapon, I can only suspect that Sai discreetly retrieved it from the wall and concealed it on a person before attacking me in a state of panic. So we able to trace the dagger's origin to you, but you claim to have left it as a wall adornment before entering the elevator. Correct. I still wasn't sure if I could write off the conditions of Mercy's wound just yet, but Mercy not initially taking the dagger with her into the trial ground seems intentional somehow. Let's see what everyone else has to say about their specific motives. Okay, photograph. So the announcement didn't direct any sort of gift to you. That's right. Just learning all the information, I guess. That's true. Forte's Solomon song was announced first, and Say's announcement of nothing followed shortly. Did she react to the message in any way? She didn't react in any particular manner, no. Nothing. It's only fitting for me. Is that so? It's possible that Say being left out might have left an impression on her. The photographer. Nothing. And now your motive? It was the blackout, a result of my fear of the dark. Bro, why are we scared of the dark? Darkness? I wasn't aware something like that occurred. Yeah, but if you don't have any remembrance of it, it might have lasted for the duration of when you were knocked out. I see. What does my motive have to do with the case anyway? We already discussed what me, Echo, and Gaia were together on the floor beneath the foyer, nowhere near the trial grounds. Well, we have to assume it affected the entire building and that the group upstairs also lost their visibility. The donks occurring has to have some bearing on the timeline of events. So, say, do you recall the blackout occurring? Yes. Can't believe I still have to ask, but care to elaborate at all? It's unimportant. Is that so? But during the moment before Gaia found the flashlight. It was too dark to even see my own hand in front of me, my face. How would it have been possible for anyone to do anything without visibility? Based on the murder scene, we had a glaringly obvious culprit, but none of us could understand why Say would act in such a way. To make this more confusing, Say is the only one without a properly delivered motive. The timing and respective intensity of each individual motive, it must create some volatility in our headspaces as far as I can tell. It's a little tough to follow which ones are and aren't relevant. Though, now that I think about it, what if announcing them was the motives? What? Announcing the motives? But why wouldn't someone else's motive affect anyone but the person it's meant for? Well, I was just thinking, I didn't see the person had motive either, but to hear that everyone got something that would try to provoke them to murder, wouldn't that be frightening? To hear who has motives and a reason to kill, you feel tormented that others could turn on you. That's all I can think of. Say received her motive last, at least before Lao's blackout. In that case, we're back to square one. Say the culprit. You just explained the reason why she would be motivated to kill, despite not receiving a personalized motive herself. She heard all the motives previous to hers and must have been shaken by the potential of everyone turning on her. Deadlock. Ooh, deadlock. Well, it's possible, but... No buts. If you need more proof, let's move on. With the advent of Mrs. Claim of Say's attack in mind, the next topic is obvious. That is, the state of Forte's body. Yeah, the victim report was extremely non-specific, more than previous. Vague on purpose, most likely. There were an innumerable amount of stab wounds in his abdomen, likely from the dagger before it was finally stuck in his body. Stab? I thought... Karen quickly fell silent. Something you want to share? Oh, that's right. Karen, you didn't even see the body, did you? No, I didn't see the body. Then, is something wrong? Nothing's wrong. Then why are you so shocked that Forte was stabbed? You clearly know something. Now he's back. But please, Karen, if you know something odd, we need your help. Something odd. My help. It is... I... Did she do it? What happened? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? First he got stabbed, now he got shot. Who did what? I shot Forte. Huh? You did what? Lieutenant, that's what you were up to? You better explain yourself. Not only was the revolver out of Mrs. hands when we met up with her, you also have no alibi whatsoever. I would hope Cannon isn't as contemptuous of the person you think she is to deny information as critical as this when cornered. What should be the blank? She shot the blank somehow. But I must know as well, when did you come to the foyer? And to what end did the revolver's last bullet in 3 to have finally been spent? Karen freely admitted that she caused harm to Forte, but to know why she meant to do such a thing caused an anticipation to rise in my chest. I've been suspicious of Safe for a while. I'd either strange into... Did she shoot in the dark? She shot in the dark, there's no way. I've been suspicious of Safe for a while. I'd either a strange intuition or just another strain of bad luck led me on. What made me act was finally seeing that mystery announcement in the testing chambers. Eiko and Al discovered Gaia, the voice behind Eve, so naturally, the other encapsulated person must be Sai's connection. But what made you suspect Zero and Sai had the connection to begin with? I noticed her reaction at the first Killing Game announcement. She was transfixed on that voice, as if she heard it before. It's small detail, but I couldn't shake it. From day on, I've only ever been suspicious of her. By laying low, she was playing the long game, but that plan had to backfire eventually, right? So I slipped out of Gaia, Iko and Nao were talking, hiding basically my apprehensions about her. Returning to the foyer, I moved warily. But wait, if she did do it, because there's no way the body being discovered in the report would have been called if Sai killed Forte and had been the one to do it. Because like, there's no way the body report calls out for the murder discovered in the body. It had to have been the person. But I didn't find any trace of them on the first floor. The only thing I found was a photo on the floor and a puncture mark in the wall near the elevator. I just missed him. I know the elevator was on the trial grounds. I called for the elevator to follow after. Upon arrival, the doors opened and Mercy was suddenly flung into the elevator cab with me. She just dropped and bloodied, and her head hung low. I thought she might have been dead. I looked in to see who her assailant was, and I saw Sam Forte in the middle of a struggle. Even though Forte had a tag in his hand, Sam was the one with blood all over her hands. He must have pulled the weapon away from her just after the attack. My suspicions about Say were confirmed. She was under our noses the whole time, waiting for the right moment to strike. Mrs. Revolver had fallen out of her pocket. I grabbed it and I didn't think twice and fired towards Say. Did you miss? Well, I thought I did. The lights went out seconds after and I couldn't see where my shot landed. I couldn't run in and check either, since the elevator shut in my face and mechanically returned me to Miss to the foyer. I ran. A shot was fired, Miss was unconscious, and a placard overtook everything. Does that statement help? There we have it. A confession. What? Wait for what? Is there any reason for us not to accept this as the truth? Well, no, but... Buchanan said she fired the revolver. A gun wound. Where? And that doesn't explain the lacerations. We can't ignore the one thing the Monokuma file detailed for us. There has to be some relevance. It's within reason for me to doubt of that fact, aren't I? Oh, I can explain them. What? How? Because I stabbed him in the abdomen after he was shot. What? Why? There's no use hiding it since you confessed. Truthfully, I couldn't believe it at first, but seeing how desperate she was, I ultimately wanted to help Cannon escape. Huh? After I witnessed Cannon shoot for Tay from the elevator, he fell quickly, and I saw his bracelet turn pink. I realized that because she wasn't with Lyle or Echo, Cannon would be the most likely implicated as the culprit. So I did what I had to do. But now the question is, because it's like, the problem could be that we could be facing now is who actually killed him. Because this is all about now, like, did the shot kill him or did the stabs kill him? I stabbed Forte's body several times near the gunshot wound to conceal it, making it look like he had died of blood loss from lacerations rather than the shot. And since I was the only one on the trial grounds, the blame would be related to me. After all, Karen wants to leave just as much as any of us. Why not give her the advantage? No way. Karen became the culprit without even seeing her victim fall. Is that it? I can't argue with that. I didn't even see whether or not he died. But you're just going to accept it? All I know is that I fired a shot and someone ended up dead. What else is there to say? Now, fortunately, as far as we know, the surrounding conditions of Forte's death are indisputable, and Say is the only eyewitness. But is there really all there is to it? Given that I ultimately wound up in the foyer, it stands that with reason that Cannon indeed visited the trial grounds, causing the elevator cab to go up and bring me back down after the assault. And you witnessed that I did not find the revolver on my person after I awoke. I can't argue with that, but... listen to you. It's all been laid out on the table. I'm not hiding anything this time. You want to keep going with this discussion because the truth is hard to swallow? Is that it? I have news for you. These trials are full of impossible to accept facts. I'm sorry for continuing this vicious cycle, so won't you just allow me to leave with whatever is left of my dignity? Just let me receive punishment already. No, that's not it at all. I just... If there's something bothering you, just spit it out already. I couldn't help but think there was something missing. I was racking my head for an answer for something. It just feels off to me. I just don't know why. Everything is out in the open. What else is there to deliberate? Nothing. Don't be a coward and just vote me off already. If there's no proof of another culprit, then you're just endangering yourself with an incorrect vote. I'm sure there's something else we could talk about that can save you. Cannon, don't you care that you could be executed? Oh, of course I care. But who am I to argue with these facts? They're impossible to dispute. It's my punishment, isn't it? It's only fair that I get what I deserve. I can't fight it. Uh-oh. I don't know what to think. None of us had an inkling of what truly occurred on trial grounds. Karen admitted that she shot Forte. Say claims that the shot was what killed him. Say masked the gun wound by stabbing Forte several times, allowing Karen to clean a clean getaway. But since Karen actually confessed, there was no reason for Say to keep secret the fact that she had disturbed the crime scene, making it appear that the way it did. All I could do is take the Well, that's the truth, right? Canon's testimonies were the only ones we had to work with, yet I couldn't help but feel like there was much more to this. I was trying to find the truth in this trial, but would it lead me to a dead end? A dead end? Missy said something like that when I went with her and for Dave the first time. We ran into a dead end of sorts. We were investigating the courtroom, we couldn't find Zero or any other hints. And then we were all killed one by one shortly after. But something inexplicable occurred as my conscience faded. I returned to the time before we split into two groups. This time, when I went to Val's group, I had information I never could have known if I didn't go with Mercy's group first. I knew the testing chamber's code somehow, and that Bacteria's incubator sister was Kaya, the ultimate cartographer. Was it possible that I needed to pursue this dead end? What, do you want to die? I gritted my teeth. I had an absurd idea. The discussion is over. There's nothing wrong. Cannon is the culprit. I looked over at my classmates who all had the same painted startled expression at the finality of my decision. All of them were shocked except Sai. That's right. Oops, I messed it up. Instead of signing a blush, calling forward the vote screens for the other students. Everyone was dumbfounded, but with no other option laid before them, only one vote was to be made. Like, this is wrong. This is so wrong. We get out of killed just so that we can. Yo, we're getting ourselves killed just so we can go time loop again. Off with the cannon. Thanks to you all for your work, haha. The room shook as the walls behind Cannon opened to reveal its dark depths. Cannon herself simply turned from her place at the stand and walked into the shadow. This is it. I fled from the stand, my feet pounding as they carried me towards it all the way beyond the walls. What on earth are you doing? I paid no attention to Gaia's call. I was pursuing that dead end. I slipped into Gaia's startled explanation along with the other shock cries echoing from the halls just before the walls shut. My head was thrashing from fear. Each breath I took was heavier than the last. I threw myself into an execution. Cannon! I stepped forward. A veil of darkness caused me to lose all my bearings. Echo? What the hell are you doing here? I panicked chased after Cannon's voice, each step taking enormous effort as I fought against all my instincts of self-preservation. This isn't right. What do you mean? You voted for this. This is my punishment, isn't it? I'm closing in on her. That's right. This is your punishment. This is everyone's punishment. Wait, what? My machine clicked into place as bursts of light flooded the room. Powerful light played through my closed eyelids, burning the back of my head. With each flash, the sound of an object darting through the air hit the floor before us, each shot approaching our very location. No, 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 no! Cannon's cry pealed amidst the sound of gunfire? Ugh! All I could see between the fighting flashes was the silhouette of her body convulsed violently, each hit pulling her body apart. Sharp object anatomy darts past me, tearing through my coat and breaking skin. Blood began to ooze from the cut. Her cannon collapsed from before me. I started towards the sound and tried to find her, guiding my hand through the darkness in vain. Boom! Pricks met my hand. Needles? I felt around the ground and picked one up. It was a small, near invisible thing on its own, but when shot at high speeds, the needles became lethal. Another series of flashes fired up, blinding me. Beyond flash, I saw the mangled body that used to be Cannon, now disfigured by a mess. Ugh! The metallic taste of blood filled my mouth, and I began to choke. A sharp pain melted its way through my throat. Uh, ugh! I buckled immediately. Pangs of anguish full overwhelmed my senses. If I was wrong about this, if I was terribly, absolutely ridiculously wrong, then I just put my life in danger for nothing. But was he? I don't think he was wrong. Following the dead end, there had to be something strange. I lost my grip on the situation. I only felt pain. Terrible sensation sank into my blood, and a flaming ache rushed through every inch of my body. Going back in time? If there's something bothering you, just spit it out already. I gasped at my throat. My skin was undamaged. Only the sobbing phantom pain of a needle that pierced my throat remained. I wiped my sweat from my brow and met the gaze of concerned faces staring back at from my exclamation. Cannon alive once more. filed my panic gave with her own stoic expression, just a few feet away from me. She was still waiting for our vote. Are you okay? Swallowing hard, I finally realized the purpose of this having strange occurrences. It gave me a glimpse of everything that could go wrong. Somehow, I managed to escape death twice. Why was I able to experience an alternate history like that? I couldn't begin to fathom the explanation. I was trembling. My heart was hammering in my chest. But if this were anything like the moment before entering the testing chambers, I steadied my breathing. That'd be something useful in that moment of time between coming to a consensus of the culprit and being executed. If I gather what I learned from the two occurrences ending in death, perhaps I can put together a picture of what could have occurred. And as far as the group was aware, the only group we had to work with were found on the crime scene, and they weren't many to begin with. Butte's body had multiple lacerations clustered in one area due to hiding the gunshot wound inflicted by cannon. He was also found he also had a small blood near the back of his head. However, the other sort of blood near the back of his head was what both bothered me. Nothing clearly visible caused the injury. I didn't know how to explain the life-saving phenomenon I just experienced, but I knew I had to take the opportunity it gave me to find the truth. Look, I still don't think we have the full picture. Please, I can't vote for Cannon. Are you implicating Say was as well? Not exactly, but her presence is important. If you think something missing, then just shout it out. We won't know what's going on in that head of yours if you keep stopping with Ralph for no reason. That's the problem. I don't know where to start. I couldn't yet sway the group with an absurd notion that Cannon would be wrongfully executed. I didn't have the means to explain how I knew such a thing. I just think we ought to continue deliberating the details. There's something bothering me. If you could just entertain me with this, I'd like to further address the lacerations. While Cannon admitted she shot Forte, she didn't know whether or not it was the shot that killed him for certain. I saw her shoot him, but let's say the shot itself didn't kill him right away. As far as I could tell, the stab wounds and the subsequent hidden gun wound weren't near his vitals. They were around his lower abdomen. And remember, the condition for lifting the darkness was to kill. Cannon, when did the lights go out? They went out seconds after I fired and just before the elevator doors closed on me. The elevator was still working though. I couldn't see a thing, but I felt the cab move, bringing me back down the foyer without a hitch. After I arrived at the foyer level, I waited out the darkness in the elevator cab before running off to the atrium. She waited out the darkness, and darkness fell seconds after she fired. Wow, we were just as immobilized in the testing chambers as Cannon was in the elevator cab, and had to wait out the darkness as well, so that means Forte wasn't killed instantly. So he must have taken advantage of his injured state, taking the dagger from him with little resistance and retaliated. He must have fallen weak from Cannon's shot, and when the lights went out, they stabbed him, finishing him off to the darkness. In that case, what you said about covering for Cannon was a lie. So you really stabbed Forte to death? Missy knows it. Cannon saw it too. I saw? I turned the dagger on Missy first. She has the scar to prove it. Forte would be next. What are you talking about? I only saw Forte with the dagger, facing off against you. Then when did they acquire the dagger? If Forte didn't push Mercy away in time, she would have fallen instead. No, you can't mean that. And why not? I planned that attack after I saw you put the dagger into the wall. I took it. If you were planning to attack, why didn't you do so when sooner? You had a perfectly opportune time when we were all in the elevator going to the trial grounds. You asking why I didn't attack sooner? What was stop? Ugh, God, so much dialogue. Whoa, I'm not pushing anything. That doesn't make any sense. That's enough. Let me read. We're not getting anywhere like this. But the discussion, it's impossible to make heads or tails of it. We had a culprit pin from the start, say, but we threw out the trial only for Cannon to take ownership of a hidden gun wound, and now we really are back to square one. Same with the requirement for lifting darkness and hit the gun wound, so we would vote wrong. Neither me, Mercy, nor Echo were at the scene, so basing our conjecture on the testimonies of the two most suspicious people is impossible. Dang it, how can we possibly find the truth behind based on their word and word alone? I should last frustration, but barring all discussion so far, there has always been an obvious culprit staring right at our face, but something inside me kept resisting the easier answer. I simply couldn't accept Say as the culprit. I had to think. Those strange occurrences ending in death. I learned something I normally would not have. With no tangible proof of what I needed to express, I put faith in the facts learned from my memories of the events, hoping something would work out. I put my faith in. believing no one here could kill, not after what happened twice already. Just why did I experience those strange occurrences? In the two scenarios, my life was gravely threatened, and yet I still stood here with the memories of those events. After all, they had to happen for a reason, right? I was far-fetched, but I had to utilize what happened, what I learned, with hopes that the facts I learned would guide me in the right direction. Thinking, I have to think about what I've come to now. The information I learned when I visited the Cyrus room, it was about the killing game. The game was an experiment to see who could survive and win to overcome other ultimate students. In the end, the participants were paired with other close students to create friction between relations. The game was set up to sow chaos and disorder. Sei was listed alongside the former student Akihiko, now known to us as Zero. After Missy, Forte and I came to a dead end in our search, we discovered Cannon had been killed. Missy and Forte fell shortly. After then, I, the last one standing, heard the voice of the assailant say, she pleaded for escape, but in my near-death haze, I could recall Zero himself telling Sei, you don't want the prize. That even after eliminating everyone, killing wasn't the answer. I was restored back in time, somehow back to the decision that would bring me to this point alive. Those were things I learned before falling to my demise, falling for a spare moment that is. Finding new life mysteriously breathed into me. I wanted a different path, utilizing information that I learned from my previous experience, and that information has led us, here to contemplate another murder. Foolish to think that the experience would be my last, as I would come to relive near death once again when our discussion became deadlocked. This time, I was emulating the strange bed and dead end occurrence to pursue the thing I believed was missing from Bote's murder. It was a brief experience, but I saw the method Zero used to dispose of Cannon small, near invisible needles shot at high speed, and little else before returning here. And Zero can only control the trial room. The truth felt close, but I felt an apprehension rising to my chest. Say, tell me, what happened after Cannon shot Forte? What happened? I stabbed Forte. How many times did I tell you? You stabbed Forte, but did you kill him? Isn't it obvious? It's not. Cannon claims that before she shot you, Forte was the last one in possession of the dagger. The light went out shortly after, and from that point, no one can really say who had the dagger. And though the dagger was plunged into Forte's abdomen, giving us the impression of it being the murder weapon, I can't help but think otherwise. Primarily because of the scenario we found ourselves in. There was a constant pressure put upon us with personalized motives spread throughout the exploration, that is, until allow us find a personalized motive. With a heavy darkness to stoke our fear, we would be scrambling until someone acted maliciously from the previously set pressure. But I couldn't even see my own hand in front of my face, let alone begin to think of a plan to kill and get away with it, so to carry it out to fruition would be near impossible. The entire building was indeed plunged in such thick darkness. I can't help but think, how could any of us have killed Forte? That's interesting phrasing. Yeah. What are you onto? Recall when our group split, Zero mentioned something interesting. So you all decided to split? Huh. That's alright. No sweat off my back. Figuratively speaking, obviously. Thanks to your fancy bracelets, I can still locate where you are. There's no escaping for you quite yet. It seems he's able to know our whereabouts within the building. In this case, he was able to locate us from our bracelets. Are you implying Zero has taken moves to actively, though discreetly, participate in the game with us? There's no going back. Yes, I believe Zero might have had a hand in killing Forte. That's nonsense. Have you lost your mind? Where are you getting this theory? I know you want us to entertain you, but this is a little much, isn't it? Now, please, I know it's not a lot to ask, but I want you to trust me. I like to hear where you're going with this funny idea. Where you're getting this funny idea as well, Echo. Loud intensely burned through me, but he fell silent and allowed me to continue. You might be observing my next unpredictable move, just like when I suggested knowing the testing chamber's code. Zero angrily gazed back at me, a complete poker face marking whatever scheme he was plotting. I felt a strange sense of conviction, that connecting an execution method with the mysterious pool of blood that was behind Forte's head would lead me to the answer I was seeking. I had to use what I learned from Cannon's execution dead end, the fact that Zero prepared a barrage of needles. It's like Missy said, The more he talks, the faster his options will diminish. If Zero's readying himself for an explanation, this was my opening to draw something out from him. Zero, I want the truth. The truth that you're the one behind this. The truth? Hehe. Let's see if you can find it. Okay, well, I've talked to a hologram. You're making a ridiculous accusation, you know. How could I have possibly killed a student? I can only operate from within the courtroom. Zero is goading me. His voice is wavering, but there's a statement somewhere that I can use. Wait, I just... Yep, as far as we've seen, you can only operate from within the courtroom. Wait, I have to figure out what the words are without them having like a different color. That's bad. But that's where the body turned up, isn't it? That much was obvious. Down was summoned us to the courtroom, and there's no evidence of the crime being moved from one place to another. What weapon do you suppose I could have killed him with? The only weapon available was the dagger, so I admit using it. And I definitely didn't electrocute or use something on anyone this time around. Face it, there's nothing in the courtroom that shows I had anything to do with this. The location. Oh, that's how it glows. It just glows at this. This just glows background in the background. It's true that there was nothing in the courtroom, but there are things beyond the courtroom walls. Namely, the tools used for executions that you clearly have some agency over. You conveniently omitted the cause of death because it would have implicated someone not from our group. Based on what everyone else knows, it sounds far-fetched, but to me, it was the only thing that made perfect sense. Zero seemingly had no power in the courtroom, proven by the fact that during the past two trials the hologram's purpose had been purely cosmetic. That said, machinery hiding behind the trial walls themselves could very well suffice not only as tools for execution, but for murder in and of itself. That's how it's going to be, huh? So, are you implying I took Forte beyond the walls, executed him and dumped his body back out? Why wouldn't I just execute him and leave his body with the rest of the punished students? He didn't do anything to deserve an execution anyway. I'm so heartless, you know. But I feel like he did. You're missing a piece in your argument. He broke the walls. Eiko, this discussion is going nowhere. How would Zero even have to gain from participating? I have nothing to gain from intervening. And in my position, I certainly have nothing to lose. If the ultimate prize is so desirable that even an arbiter of the game would want to win it, why didn't Zero simply eliminate us from the start? Now brought up a good point. I haven't unearthed anything useful from Zero yet, and it's with the reason that if Zero wanted the prize as well, we wouldn't have survived this long. So, there has to be a reason why. Ego, the discussion is going nowhere. Let's push Zero. There we go. Thank you. Hang on. Nothing to lose. Location and method was clear to me, but the motivation stopped me. I had to concentrate. If Zero truly had nothing to gain by executing us all, why did he only now carry out the plan to murder one of the game's participants? If he had nothing to gain, there must be something he didn't want to lose, something he wanted to keep. Something or someone. Zero and Say, they have some other connection. That their connection could be the motive I'm looking for. Kinda noticing Forte with the dagger lost. Just before the lights went out, since Say's escape in the room showed no signs of a gunshot in the wall, it's clear Forte must have taken the shot. If Forte had the dagger the entire time, he could have used it against Say, and if Zero observing his offense against her, then he would have reason to consider Forte a threat to Say. That has to be it. It's impossible for me to assert with any certainty what exactly occurred in the courtroom. However, I can think of a reason why it happened. Yeah, right. Anyways, not for the ultimate prize. Like I said, the ultimate prize was so desirable, why wouldn't Zero get rid of us all from the beginning? In that case, winning the ultimate prize has nothing to do with why Zero acted, although he isn't strictly a participant, he's still involved. That involvement is something connecting us and the best participants to him as the overseer. Lyle? You have something very important that will complete the picture. The note? It reads, "If you recognize one of the symbols depicted, then you have finally found me and are safe. Please do not speak of the note's existence. Trust no one but yourself." Now you discovered this note in the pantry of things Sai stuck in there for a brief moment. Sai must have known something as early as the third day. No, even earlier, since Zero's emblem was shown on the second day. It's like Karen said, when the Killing Game announcement came on, Sai must have been clued in on the person behind it. She's known all this time and played us for fools by ducking out of confrontation. Sai's the other insider? The same profiles didn't explicitly document any involvement in the game, but her files were paired along with Akihiko's, the one we currently call Zero. On the second day, when Zero summoned us to the atrium to present a special gift, this note must have been it. Based on what we know, it's now clear that Sai must have some insight on who Zero is. However, instead of thinking Sai was a spy within our ranks, conniving with Zero to plot against us, Zero is the one trying to bridge the gap between a participant and arbiter to intervene with Sai's safety. Huh? Wait. But even if that's the case, why would Sai go out of her way to direct the attention of implicating herself as the culprit? Isn't that action in diametric opposition of what you're implying? No, I killed Forte. He didn't deserve it at all. He deserved it at all. She would be forsaking her own safety by placing the blame on herself, the false culprit, causing us to vote incorrectly and literally causing us all to die. Zero has nothing to do with it. What Sai did to Forte during this trial was on her own volition, shattering the connection between her and Zero. If he killed to keep her safe, she completely threw the sentiment out the window. I'm the only culprit. Vote for me. Well, Zero, what do you have to say about all this? You'll never know the answer if you don't vote. If they confessed, what's stopping you from accepting a judgment as truth? You want to believe your friend, don't you? What's stopping me? I want to believe that she could never do something like that. That's it? Just like your completely out of this world conjecture about me interfering, you have no tangible basis to trust her either. Such irresponsible thinking could lead you to an execution, you know. Zero wasn't going to be shaken so easily, but the fact that his arguments are lofty and just intangible gave me some solace that I could turn this trial around. I could do so by focusing on the subject of his motivation. Say, I'm not going to vote for you. You're the only one who knows what happened for certain. So please, tell us why. Why are you trying so hard to make us vote incorrectly? You don't possibly want us all to get executed, do you? That's exactly what I want. Complete execution. So it's the only way out for all of us to get gone. Even though Karen admitted to something she didn't do, I went with it for the sake of redirecting the vote. Regardless, if you voted for her or voted for me, it was going to be wrong and we'd all face execution. And we'll finally be freed from this terrible, horrible game. Say, you can't possibly believe leading us to our demise is the right answer. Why not? I hate it. My daughter is gone, Aunt is gone, Cyrus is gone, Ashley is gone, and now Forte is gone because of me. I can't stand any of this. The pain and suffering, it's endless. Zero killed Forte to protect me, but I don't care. I don't know who Zero is anymore. I came all the way to find the shell of someone I knew. When will this nightmare end? When can we escape? Even if we don't kill, someone dies and we are still stuck. We're trapped, and I'm tired of believing in someone that will never happen. Something will never happen. I have nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Why keep going? What's the point of fighting? Everyone is slipping out of my fingers, and I'll be left alone. Alone? Say, look around you. You're not alone. What? You say you have nothing left to lose, but what about the people standing before you? We are enduring the pain, the guilt, the torment of surviving for nothing. Endurance? Survival? Please, we can figure this out together. It's pointless at the 11th hour. Wow. So what? Our endurance is worthless. Say spiraling, trying to convince her that she's not alone. That this fight is worth fighting. What do I do? Oops. What do I do? Oh! Jesus, they didn't tell me what to do. But a complete execution won't solve the problem. There's another way out, I'm certain of it. There must be, so please help me. And this is me mashing flippin' button mashing all things. Forget? I want to stop this game too, but we shouldn't forget the turmoil our friends went through. My daughter, Art, Cyrus, Ashley, and Forte. We can't simply abandon our memories of them in the past. I'm not going to stop the game by voting for you. I'm not going to abandon my memory of you either. It's not hopeless. There's always hope. That's not true. So much mashing. Why? Truth of hopelessness was staring us straight in the face. There was no denying it. But I felt the desire to combat the terror that hung over us, and above all, after experiencing what Sadie did to us, our desperation, I felt the responsibility to vouch for her innocence the only way I knew how. Say, you're not alone. You're here with us, as our friend. And you're not alone in feeling scared and hopeless. Everyone's trying to do their best to keep their head above the water. I don't know what will happen after this, or if we'll even make it out, but we have to try. But I did a horrible thing to Forte. Isn't this ending what I deserve? It's not your fault. How can you know that? I believe you. Please, I don't want to see us going through anything like this again, so you're the only one who knows for certain who the culprit is. The game will surely be over after we uncover the last truth. After all, you didn't kill Forte. How could I? Of course I didn't kill him. I was so scared. Echo was right about the motives. The fact that little by little, everyone was being pushed some way or another into this race. I felt the pressure mounting. Who was to know what sort of motive would be delivered? I took the dagger to protect myself. I couldn't possibly know what was going on in anyone's head after those motives, could I? I wasn't even relieved that I didn't get a motive because I couldn't help but think about everyone else's. That everyone would be given some reason to turn on one another. And when Forte said he would take matters into his own hands, I feared for my life. I froze after I slashed out Mercy and he overtook the dagger. What Cannon saw was only half the story. He did appear to have an advantage over me, but it was just a performance. A performance with the only possible person in the audience. The lights went out. Darkness, Lyle's gift, static from his fears to you. Only murder will lift the darkness. What the? But then I was plunged into the never-ending darkness. Even though I hadn't moved, I couldn't even tell where the floor was. Somehow, he found me. Don't move a muscle. And it seemed he quickly took action to meet the darkness lifting condition. Finally! Forte had the dagger pointed at my throat. I could feel the chilling cold steel just inches away. Finally! I thought time had stopped. Forte was tall as stone, with the dagger poised for my end. He whispered something so low I thought I had imagined it. A stage where every man must play a part, and mine, a sad one. Did he stab himself? He stabbed himself. I knew it. Ugh. Then Forte just fell. When the lights returned, I saw his body lying face up. A small pool of blood was forming behind his head. And I looked up to see the trial ground walls close steadily, and the Zero hologram with this awful satisfied expression. He made a gesture, like he was holding an invisible camera. Zero clued me in on who he was going to mark as the culprit, even though Zero killed Forte himself. Zero planned to manipulate the outcome of the trial. I could see the trial play out in my head. Forte's gun wound would have been the decisive clue. The pool behind his head probably thought to just be from the falling impact. I couldn't believe it. Forte was killed because of me. Again, was going to be framed because of me. I picked up the dagger Forte dropped. If the true culprit was never going to be found, I was going to make the trial easy and direct the blame toward me so the wrong vote and inscriptions following could happen right away. Then we wouldn't have to suffer a long trial. And the dreadful game could finally come to an end. After all, it's my fault for Tay was pushed to do such a thing to himself. Killing is the only answer here. So he was forced into a corner, using me as bait to sacrifice himself to Zero. He went through those lengths. For me. Why didn't he just kill me and be done with it? That's rough, buddy. I couldn't understand what had happened. So I thought if I could lead the trial to be an incorrect vote, then the game would end without me having to do the terrible thing. And we'd be freed from this trap. But Zero saved me. He took you out of harm's path. At least that's what he thought he was doing. Say, you knew that he was trying to manipulate the blame of you, so why did you still try to redirect the vote to yourself? But because I have nothing else to look forward to. I ended up here for one reason or another, and all the signs have pointed toward demise. Because even after all that, whoever the Zero is, he isn't my friend anymore, and now I have nothing. Say, you must know by now that we're here for you. Miss is right. We've been trapped, that much is certain, but we're not isolated. We have known each other, we have each other, and together we can help each other build up hope for escape. You don't need to act alone. Akihiko, we both wanted to save someone. You don't really think this was the answer, do you? Manipulating a trial like this, it's unruly. Akihiko isn't here anymore. Since giving himself up to the game, his conscience has been long gone. Being disillusioned by the way he and his fellow Ultimates were treated, he dropped everything and let himself be consumed with despair. It's poetic, isn't it? He gave himself up because this game was the only thing he could cling to. It gave him purpose. In fact, Guy is also holding onto the killing game. Can you really trust her? After all, she oversaw the game just as I am. Before you released her, that is. All she did was watch and let Pandora die. You have no idea the sacrifice I went through. I see that the idea that you think I idled and watched her die. Uh-huh. And what have you done since to prevent it? You didn't try to stop her selling like I did you? So, do you think Guy is on your side, spouting empty sentiment and rolling over, doing nothing but watch the game carelessly take lives? I'll tell you what. Your friend Guy here did something very interesting. Don't you dare demonize what I did. Excuse me, I never killed anyone in my game. You, on the other hand, why, you disgust me. I invited you to open the foyer doors so one of you fools can deliver your punishment. One of you will deliver your punishment. They have no reason to trust you after all. There are no rules, say for one, those who kill should not get away with it. Let me give one more try. Guy isn't your friend, not a chance. She has played this game once before, and will do anything to keep herself from losing going forward. And even from the winner circle, she did what she could to gain the advantage. She's the one who trapped you in the ship. Ship? Even if someone won this game, there would be nowhere to go. You're completely sealed in. Left to die in isolation, confined in these walls. It's crazy, isn't it? In fact, trapping you all may be a ploy for her to kill again. Why not? It'll prove once more that she's deserving of being called an ultimate. You don't understand. I did what I had to do. Oh, of course I don't understand. You're the one giving hope to these people, yet all you've done is cause trouble. Unfortunately for you, I control what occurs in this vicious circle, and I'm using this power to keep safe. Keep me safe? You should have never brought me here in the first place. I know, I was tricked. This game is a farce. I won the killing game that preceded this one, and received the ultimate prize. The prize of a lifetime of suffering. That's the prize? The prize? Within a group of incredibly talented individuals, if someone defeat their fellow ultimate students and come out on top, their efforts and achievements would be highly prized, wouldn't they? To see who would come out on top, that was the experiment the preservation project was conducting. The project wanted to gather the very best of the best for the sake of the future, as it were. The spare program has ruined whatever semblance of Akihiko remained, creating the Zero persona. Zero has the false name he ran under in the previous game, after all. It's no surprise to me that it's being used again under the guise of a killing game operator. Despite that, Akiko's will to protect safe persist in the Zero memory. Forte must have taken the risk to see whether or not the entity connected to Say would act. I hardly recognize him anymore. His voice is the same, but I don't know who that is anymore. There's no trace left. That's right. He's a shell of his former self. The game and all its terrors now inhabit the ultimate radio host. Aki wanted to erase the wrongdoing he committed in his game, and ooh, he's glitching. Ready? 815-165, 815-165, 000. Stop! I'm correcting it out. The program is fighting itself right before our very eyes. Oof. Your efforts are wasted. What's happening? You gave yourself up to despair and yet you still tried to deliver a single of hope? You defied your own action. The very self-preservation actions that saved you in the last game. What happened to selfishness? I cannot. How dare you! The arbiter we call Zero is fighting itself. Its current form and former form trying to make sense of its own actions. Cool. Ooh, what's happening? A conflict we cannot control. I have a last-ditch effort prepared. If you cannot overcome the darkness, Flash shouted as we watched Zero's fight unfold. Heh. Zero empty fought its way into dominance, greeting us with a haunting grin. Well. I guess you caught me, eh? Ah, fine. The jig is up. How many resistance I've been thoroughly caught in the act by some triumph of hope, whatever nonsense you want to admit. After all, I wouldn't be doing you efforts just to keep fighting back after you went through so much trouble. It must have been some rotten luck that got you out of this one, huh? Who are you, Echo? I don't know how you, a talentless nobody, managed to realize the trick I pulled off. By all accounts, you should have been executed by now. If all went according to my manipulation, Cannon should be a pincushion and the rest of you dropped into an incubator. Although, why stopping me from letting that happen? I'll rescue myself and bring you all with me. Don't you dare! This is the last show with your host, Zero, signing off today's cast with Eternal Dead. Wahahaha. Lights move violently over saturated battlegrounds with a blot of glaring heat. Damn it, no! Tremor tore through the room. The sound of metal creaking filled the halls, and the lights flickered dizzyingly as we all struggled to gain footing. Everyone, get down and cover your head and neck. We all dove to the floor, each quake jolting us to and fro with ease. Kathunk. Are we alive? The shaking came down to a low rumble, and the ground eventually settled into stillness once more. The lights turned to a dim glow, and the five of us cautiously rose to our feet. The battlegrounds were quiet. We, Zero, now leapt to his feet, darting around the battlegrounds for signs of the Arbiter. Are you alright? Constant static full hologram of Gaia illuminated the room. We are fine, no thanks to you. I'm sorry, I didn't anticipate the superstructure would have yet buckled under pressure, but seeing as Zero overloaded the system, the adverse effect of his self-inflicted execution may have sped up the process. What are you talking about? That doesn't explain where you were and why you were never helpful. Niall, come on. We're all fine, aren't we? Alf came to her feet as Mercy did the same with Sue. Are you okay, Cannon? A little shaky, but I'm in one piece. Thanks. Mercy, say? We're alright. That's a relief to you. So that's it, right? Huh? Sarah is gone. The game is over. We're done here, aren't we? So let's get the heck out of here. Hang on. Sure, he's gone, but there's still many more unanswered questions. First of all, you say we're on a ship. Even if we got out, we're still stuck drifting out in the sea. If there was a wholly unknown testing chamber below us this entire time, it within reason that there's a helm hidden somewhere as well. Kaya was it? You said you were responsible for such a thing. Is this true? Kaya sighed. I will answer your question in due time. For now, I'd like to ask that you all rest for a spell before coming down to the testing chamber. It's been a long few days for you all. What? And did you jump ship through a concealed exit passageway while our guard is down? No way. Well, I understand your desire to push forward, but our break would allow us to sort our thoughts. Please, I'm not going anywhere. I'll wait for your arrival. Kaya's hologram clips out as the rest of us shuffle idly, while Hafton shrugs the images away to the elevator. Looks like that was the end. There was no vote, no execution, just the end. Though Sylph's destruction provided some relief, I still left uneasy. There was still so much uncertainty that was lurking before us. I sighed. I have no clue what's going on anymore. The rest of us followed Lyle into the elevator, and together we returned to the foyer. As the remaining 5 students left the trial grounds in the shadows, for good. Don't remind me. I'm gonna miss these guys. Chapter 4 end. 5 students remain. Danganronpa. Great. Just great. Please, no more. Okay, I don't know how long it's gonna be, the next video, but I'm gonna end off here. I hope the video is long enough for next video. I'm gonna end off here. This was super confusing. I have no clue what happened at all so far in this trial. But hopefully the next video will be probably the final video of this game, because we're gonna finally end off this game. But I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.